And as we begin, we cannot proceed unless we invoke the aid of deity. And therefore, we would invoke the aid of deity. We welcome the ancestors. We welcome the angelic hosts. We welcome all those who are joining with us. Indeed, as we commune one with another today, when we are finished, we would say, I was glad when I joined this Zoom meeting this afternoon. And we ask God to be our guardian and our guide, and to hear us when we call, to let not our slippery footsteps slide, and to hold us lest we fall. Be thou my guardian and my guide. Oh, and hear me when I call. Let not my slippery footsteps slide, and hold me lest I fall. The worldly flesh and Satan dwells, the world of flesh and Satan dwells around the path I tread. Oh, save me from the snares of hell, thou quickener of the dead. And if I'm tempted and to sin, and our things are strong, do thou, O Lord, keep watch within and save my soul from still ever let me watch and pray, still ever let me watch and pray and feel that I am frail, that if the tempter cross my way, yet he may not prevail. Praise God. So as we welcome the ancestors, as we welcome the holy angels, as we welcome all ministering spirits to edify, to build, to encourage, to uplift, we enter into this sacred period, this sacred time to commune one with another. And before I actually start the service, although we have already started, I just want you to do a little exercise with me. And I just want you to take a deep breath in. And just breathe out slowly. Just setting your intentions. To welcome all positive energies into your place where you are now. dismissing all negative vibration. And as you breathe, I want you to breathe and carry it, that breath, at least 2 inches above your navel. As you exhale, I want you to drop your head and curl in your hips forward. And as you inhale, I want you to straighten up and let your hips go back. So exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And as you inhale, I want you to focus your attention just to your forehead. And each breath that you breathe in is healing. It's balancing. It's purifying. So breathe in, focusing on your pineal gland. That's why I ask you to focus here. It is the gland of inspiration, enlightenment. And as you stimulate that gland, you're seeking to release a chemical that helps with spiritual intuition and enlightenment. So as you exhale, you are bending and pulling forward the hips. And as you contract the stomach, pushing out all of that negative energy. And as you expand, inhale, focusing on your pineal gland, stimulating it to activate your spiritual intuition. That is why Baptists mourn. Well, many of them may not know it. But as you mourn, around the 4th day of mourning, the pineal gland is stimulated and releases a chemical which is intoxicating and gives you that natural high that enables you to connect with the divine. Hence, that is why some persons may go days before even getting a vision. And then around the 3rd, 4th day, as the pineal gland is activated, then you begin to travel and see visions and see dreams because you stimulate that chemical from the pineal gland. So that is just a little exercise that I said I would let you do as I did last week to go into our session today. Jesus, lover of my soul, let me to thy bosom fly, while the near waters roll, while the tempest is nigh. Oh, hide me, oh, my Savior, hide, till the storms of life are past, safe into the heavens hide. Oh, receive my soul at last. Oh, other refuge shall I none. Hides my helpless soul on thee. Leave, oh, leave me not alone. Still support and comfort me. I am seeing on my laptop that the session is going to run in 10 minutes, that I need to upgrade. So I don't know if it does go out, then I will have to get a different link and send it back to you. So please be patient. If it does go out, I don't know. So just in case. But if it does, I will send a link and we'll just come back together. But I'm going to start immediately into the session. And last week, I looked at your mission and the purpose for which you have been brought here. I would have laid out that you were in existence before you came into this physical being, into this physical structure. And I would have given both biblical evidence as to such, even God knowing us before we were formed in our mother's womb, as he said to Jeremiah, and that Jesus Christ was slain before the foundations of the world. And according to Galatians 4 and verse 4, that Jesus left his ethereal body and came and put on this corporal body to walk in the flesh in order to fulfill his mission and to, as it were, meet the demands of a righteous creator, a righteous God. And that we too have a mission to fulfill. We too have to walk and in this corporal flesh and transcend and be able to finish our course. And therefore, in order to finish our course, there are many things that we must apply to our lives as we raise to a higher state of consciousness and a higher state of awareness and a higher state of liberty. So today, I'll be looking at walking in the light. In Matthew, it speaks about the people who sit in darkness have seen a great light. And indeed, that spoke directly to the Christ. And Christ became that state through the many tests that he would have passed and sojourned in the physical realm till he came to the state of the Christ. And each and every one of us must see ourselves as moving from one state of consciousness to the Christ consciousness, where we, our corporal self, must decrease and he must increase. The Christ within us must increase. That is why Paul spoke about crucifying himself and putting the physical flesh into subjection, that the spiritual man could elevate, that the spiritual man could elevate. We as spiritual people must walk in the light. The Bible tells us that your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And spiritual people must walk in the light as he is the light. We must walk in the light as he is in the light. Therefore, we must allow our lights to shine. The scripture says that to let your light so shine before others or before men that they may see your good deeds or your good works and glorify the Father which is in heaven. So as spiritual people, we are called to move from the realms of the carnal and to move towards the realms of the spiritual. Therefore, there must be a transition and there must be a constant change. It is not something that happens overnight, but it is a process where light will continue to shine in our darkness and that the darkness will be overcome. This must be something that we must have constant and that we must have the awareness in our minds and in our whole being that determines as a compass and a guide for our spiritual elevation. If we do not have this consciousness, if we do not have this awareness, then we will find ourselves muddled. We will find ourselves in the mire, and we will find ourselves in the debased nature, in the debased conversation, in the debased thinking. But we must realize that we are moving towards light. And that is why even as you meditate, you would first see darkness. And as you continue to meditate, you will see that light eventually starts to emerge. This light is when the pineal gland is activated. Then the gland that is, as it were, our reptilian instinct, our basic instinct, which this world and the system of this world seeks to cover and to dull and to bring darkness. But we must realize that we, although within this system of things, must transcend that. Although we are in this system of things, we must transcend that and follow the light that is within us. Follow that light that is within us. This is important, and we must have a harmonious relationship. We must have, if we are going to move from the realms of darkness and we are going to activate the Christ consciousness and cause that Christ consciousness within us to grow, if we are going to mature and come to full maturation, we must realize that we must harmonize with the universe. The universe is in harmony. The stellar system is in harmony. And if we are going to elevate and accomplish that, as it were, growth, if you're going to accomplish that constant growth, that positive growth, then we must come into harmony with the universe, with the ecosystem, with each other. We must come into harmony. So walking in the light is about self-enhancement. It is about self-enhancement, and we must have that desire. If we do not have that desire to have self-enhancement, if that is not the watchword where we are seeking constantly to elevate and to develop ourselves, we will find that we will not grow effectively. We will not grow effectively, and we will not fulfill the spiritual destiny that we have been incarnated for. The spiritual destiny that we have been incarnated into this physical structure. For God has a divine purpose for each and every one of us. This purpose in you. And therefore, in order to fulfill and to realize that spiritual destiny, we must be constructive. We must be intentional. We must be purposeful in our spiritual focus. We must not be lazy. We must not procrastinate. We must not be ineffective in our actions, but we must replace these with an enthusiastic search and an enthusiastic pursuit